What if I told you that the stiff, tight feeling in your hips after 70 isn't just normal aging, and that ignoring it could quietly be stealing your independence, forcing you out of your beloved home and into a nursing home? If your hips feel locked or tight when you try to turn, many people assume that this is just how growing older works. They think losing agility is inevitable. But here is what often surprises seniors. The problem is a frozen joint that is quietly threatening your freedom. When you find yourself losing your balance or stumbling while trying to turn around, it is very common to blame it on age. Many seniors assume it is just a sign of a slowing nervous system or a touch of normal dizziness. They treat it like gray hair, an unchangeable reality of getting older. But as a clinician, let me explain what is actually happening inside your body in plain language. In many cases, that sudden instability has nothing to do with your brain, and it is not a sign of failing ears or inner ear problems. Instead, the real culprit is a deep structural restriction in your lower body. Your hip joints have quietly locked up. Think of your hips as the foundation of your entire physical structure. When you turn your body to face another direction, your hips are supposed to pivot smoothly to absorb that rotational energy. But over time, due to long periods of sitting or inactivity, the muscles and connective tissues surrounding this vital joint become thick, tight, and immobile. Your hip joint essentially turns into a rusty hinge on an old door. When you try to force a rusty hinge to move without oiling it first, it resists, binds, and forces other parts of the structure to bend under immense pressure. In everyday life in America, this dangerous mechanism plays out every single day in the most ordinary places. Imagine you are standing at your kitchen counter, carefully preparing lunch or rolling out baking dough. Suddenly, the television in the living room gets loud, or the front doorbell rings, surprising you. Your natural instinct is to immediately turn your upper body toward that sound. If your hips are perfectly healthy and loose, they will instantly rotate with you, keeping your center of gravity squarely over your feet. But when you have severe hip stiffness, that rusty hinge completely locks. Because your hips refuse to budge, your feet stay completely glued to the linoleum floor. To complete the turn, your body is forced to rapidly twist your lower back and your knees instead. This sudden, uncoordinated twist forces your that lung and knees to handle a heavy rotational load they were never designed to carry. Your spine twists, your knees strain, and your upper body overbalances, throwing your center of gravity completely outside your base of support. In one split second, you experience a terrifying loss of balance. You are thrown completely off-center, desperately reaching out for a kitchen counter or a chair to stop a dangerous fall. This isn't just an observation from daily life. This specific mechanical failure has been documented deeply by medical researchers. One important orthopedic and biomechanical concept has been analyzed for years in physical therapy training. A study published by the National Institutes of Health in PubMed examined the direct relationship between hip range of motion and turning ability in older adults. What researchers discovered when tracking older individuals was clear. There is a precise, direct correlation between a reduction in hip flexibility and a person's vulnerability to losing their balance during a turn. When your hip joints lose their natural range of motion, your body loses its primary defense mechanism against sudden trips and stumbles. You cannot redirect your weight safely because your joints are frozen in place. Understanding this reality completely changes how we look at balance. You do not have to just accept a fragile, unstable feeling as an inevitable part of your retirement years. The true secret to moving smoothly and protecting your safety isn't found in medication or intense, exhausting workouts. It comes down to identifying the specific mechanical locks in your body and gently releasing them before they can lead to a dangerous accident. By focusing directly on this hidden restriction, you can completely restore your body's natural ability to pivot smoothly and protect yourself from sudden, unexpected falls. Today, I am going to walk you through a highly effective routine consisting of 3 targeted chair exercises designed specifically to completely unlock your stiff hip joints and restore your natural ability to turn safely. These movements are incredibly gentle, straightforward, and carry 0% risk of injury or strain. Before we dive into the specific techniques, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I strongly recommend you hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another practical medical tip created just for your needs. These detailed video guides are developed specifically for older adults who want to maintain their mobility, stay completely active, and protect their daily independence. If you enjoy this video or find it helpful, please type 1 in the comments below right now. If it is not quite what you are looking for today, type 0 so I can understand exactly how to create better, more useful content for you in our upcoming sessions. I look at every single comment on our page, and your direct feedback truly matters to our team. Now, let me share what makes this specific routing so special. In American households, it is extremely common to spend hours sitting comfortably in a deep recliner to watch regular afternoon television programs. While this feels relaxing, this prolonged sitting habit quietly locks your hip muscles into a frozen state over time. To reverse this damage, many seniors assume they have to practice difficult, exhausting standing workouts that trigger a severe fear of falling. But the real answer is far simpler. Information published by Harvard Health Publishing regarding chair exercises for older adults has long confirmed the true safety and clinical effectiveness of performing targeted movements from a completely seated position. These specific chair exercises are highly recognized in modern physical medicine for their unique ability to safely support functional rehabilitation and help mature individuals maintain their baseline physical fitness without stressing their joints. By utilizing a sturdy chair, you completely eliminate the challenge of balancing on one leg, letting you focus entirely on opening the hip joint. It looks almost too simple to matter, but this tiny, protected routine delivers massive medical benefits by unanchoring your lower body. It provides an immediate, safe alternative that removes all daily discomfort. This gentle chair activation prepares your hips perfectly for our very first exercise. Exercise number 3, gentle seated hip marching. This is the exact movement many physical therapists quietly utilize when an older patient describes a terrifying moment of instability while trying to pivot or change directions in their home. It looks almost too simple, which is why most people completely overlook its clinical significance. But this basic mobilization targets a specific muscle system that plays a non-negotiable role in your overall stability after 70. This initial exercise is performed sitting entirely upright in a sturdy kitchen chair with both of your feet placed flat on the floor. To guarantee your absolute safety, please ensure you are not using a rolling office chair or a wheelchair, as we want to eliminate any risk of unsteadiness. What you are doing here is slowly waking up your hip flexors, the vital muscles responsible for lifting your legs and managing your pelvic alignment. When these foundational structures become frozen from hours of sitting, your ability to turn normally is completely compromised. Guidance from Harvard Health Publishing regarding chair exercises for older adults has repeatedly demonstrated that executing small, targeted movements from a fully supported seated position is incredibly safe and highly effective for functional rehabilitation. This structured approach allows senior individuals to safely maintain their baseline physical fitness and improve joint mobility without putting a single ounce of dangerous pressure on their lower back or knees. To practice this safely in your home, sit tall in your sturdy kitchen chair with your chest relaxed. Place both of your feet flat on the floor, keeping them about hip-width apart. From this stable position, slowly lift your right knee toward the ceiling, raising your foot just a few inches off the ground. Pause calmly for a brief moment at the very top of the movement, then lower your foot back down to the floor with total control. Next, switch sides and gently lift your left knee in the exact same manner. Move slowly, maintain a steady rhythm, and breathe normally throughout the entire process. If you feel any sudden pinching or discomfort in your groin, simply reduce the height of the lift or take a brief break. A very common mistake senior adults make when attempting this movement is rushing through the repetitions. Speed is absolutely not the objective here. Gentle, highly controlled lifts are infinitely more effective for joint mobilization than fast, bouncy movements. Another frequent error is holding your breath during the activation, which can rapidly increase your blood pressure and make you feel slightly lightheaded. For older individuals, practicing this specific movement daily supports your overall lower body comfort, builds spatial confidence, and protects your independent lifestyle. It can be performed multiple times throughout the day right from your living room without causing any physical fatigue. Many people notice that their hong feels significantly looser and their posture feels much more secure within just a few weeks of consistent practice. This gentle activation prepares your frozen joints perfectly for the next step, where we begin to expand your mobility and introduce lateral movement in a completely safe, supported way. Exercise number 2, supported seated hip abduction flow. Now that we have gently initiated vertical movement to wake up your hips, the next critical phase is to unlock your lateral range of motion. This specific sequence targets your lateral rotators and your gluteus medius muscles, which are the exact structures responsible for stabilizing your pelvis when your body changes direction. In everyday American life, a perfect example of this mechanical demand occurs every time you attempt to get out of an automobile, such as a large SUV or a standard family sedan. Think about that common motion in a grocery store parking lot. You must slide your seat back, open the car door, and swing one leg out wide onto the asphalt while rotating your torso. If your outer hip muscles are completely bound up and rigid, this ordinary task quickly becomes a dangerous struggle, causing you to lose your footing, stumble sideways, or experience a terrifying moment of lounge chuang on the hard concrete. This particular dynamic failure is precisely why opening up your lateral movement matters so much. A prominent study published by the National Institutes of Health in PubMed deeply analyzed the relationship between hip range of motion and turning ability in older adults. The medical researchers discovered that a severe lack of flexibility in these outer hip structures directly compromises your active stability, making you highly vulnerable to losing your balance the exact moment your body attempts to shift weight or pivot sideways. By engaging this lateral muscle flow, you are effectively re-oiling that frozen mechanism, melting away the deep tightness accumulated from hours of sitting and giving your body the physical tools it needs to execute turns smoothly and fluidly. To practice this sequence safely, return to your tall posture in your sturdy kitchen chair. Ensure both feet are planted flat on the linoleum, keeping your spine straight and your shoulders completely relaxed. Place your hands firmly on the outer edges of the chair seat for extra physical support. Slowly and smoothly slide your right foot out to the side, keeping your toes pointing forward and your foot flat against the floor. Go only as far as feels completely comfortable for your joint, experiencing a gentle, reassuring stretch along the side of your hip. Pause calmly at the outer limit for 1 second, then slide your foot slowly back to the starting center position with total control. Next, replicate the exact same movement with your left leg, sliding it out gently and drawing it back with measured precision. Keep your breathing easy, steady, and unhurried throughout the entire exercise. As you perform these lateral repetitions, please be highly mindful of 2 common mistakes that senior adults frequently make. The first major error is allowing your hips or mung to lift completely off the chair seat as your leg moves outward. When you tilt your pelvis to force a wider range of motion, you cheat the exercise, remove the deep stretch from the target joint, and put unnecessary stress on your lower lumbar spine. Your pelvis must stay perfectly level, glued firmly to the seat. The second mistake is holding your breath or tensing your shoulders, which creates internal pressure and limits your natural fluid movement. For mature individuals, incorporating this lateral activation into your daily routine delivers immense value, providing an immediate release of built-up tension and reinforcing your confidence during real-life transitions. It is a practical tool that trains your lower body to handle unexpected direction changes without throwing you off balance. This targeted flow prepares your joints for our final step, where we integrate deeper flexibility to fully preserve your mobility. Exercise number 1. Alternate seated figure 4 stretch. This is the exercise many clinical professionals quietly consider the most valuable and critical movement for lower body agility after 70. It is not because the technique is incredibly difficult or demanding, but because it specifically addresses the absolute deepest point of structural restriction within your pelvic anatomy. This profound movement targets a tiny, hidden muscle system called the piriformis, alongside the deep lateral rotators buried beneath your large gluteal structures. Many clinicians quietly refer to this sequence as the ultimate weapon against age-related immobility because it yields an immediate, noticeable release that you can physically experience within seconds. When these specific deep tissues become locked and shortened from years of chronic inactivity, they compress your sciatic nerve, freeze your pelvic rotation, and completely strip away your fundamental ability to execute a safe turn. This specific mechanical release is precisely why deep mobilization is so heavily emphasized by physical medicine experts. Information published by Harvard Health Publishing regarding structured chair exercises for older adults has long detailed the precise therapeutic value of practicing deep, seated stretches. The medical data confirms that executing a targeted figure 4 sequence while completely supported by a chair acts as a powerful method to safely reduce pressure on the sciatic nerve while directly encouraging the surrounding pelvic bones to rotate with fluid flexibility. By utilizing this strategic positioning, mature individuals can safely achieve a deep, therapeutic release without placing an ounce of dangerous compression or rotational strain on their fragile lumbar spine or unstable knee joint. It provides a protected way to restore baseline freedom of movement. To practice this primary mobilization safely in your home, sit tall and proud on your sturdy kitchen chair. Ensure your sitting bones are firmly rooted against the seat and place both feet flat on the floor. Take a moment to enjoy a fresh cup of morning coffee to let your body ease into the day. Now, slowly lift your right leg, bend the knee outward, and gently rest your right ankle directly on top of your left thigh, just above the knee joint. If your hung are exceptionally rigid, your right knee may point high toward the ceiling. That is completely fine. Stay right there, sit tall, and breathe calmly into the tightness. If you possess a bit more flexibility, slowly and gently press your upper torso forward from your waist, keeping your spine perfectly straight and your chest completely open. Move with total deliberation, as if you are lowering your chest toward your shin. Go only until you experience a deep, comfortable stretch deep within your right hip and gluteal area. Hold this specific position for several slow, relaxed breaths. Then calmly return to the starting posture and repeat the process on your left leg. As you perform this deep stretch, please remain highly vigilant against two common mistakes that senior adults frequently make. The most dangerous error is allowing your spine to round or hunch forward as you lean. When you collapse your chest and curve your lower back, you completely remove the stretching force from the targeted hip joint and transfer a massive amount of harmful pressure directly onto your fragile intervertebral discs. Your back must stay as flat as a board. The second frequent mistake is forcing your knee downward or bouncing aggressively to deepen the stretch. This excessive force triggers a protective muscle spasm, which limits your flexibility and can easily strain the delicate connective ligaments. Think of this movement as a soothing release rather than a test of raw strength. For older Americans, incorporating this specific figure 4 routine into your daily morning habit supports your long-term comfort, builds incredible structural confidence, and preserves your ability to navigate your home completely unassisted. It prepares your body to handle a busy afternoon of moving around your house, working in your backyard garden, or traveling to the local supermarket without needing to rely constantly on a heavy walking cane or assistance from family members. This profound daily activation provides the exact mechanical foundation your lower body requires to move through your life with total safety. Over the last few minutes, you have seen how protecting your balance and avoiding a dangerous stumble after 70 does not depend on forcing your body through exhausting, high-impact workouts or stressful standing routine. It begins entirely with choosing a protected path, sitting tall in a chair, and systematically releasing the hidden physical restrictions that tie down your lower skeleton. By introducing gentle vertical movement to wake up your hip flexors, clearing your lateral movement to assist with side-to-side weight shifts, and executing a deep stretch to completely unlock your deep piriformis, you restore the precise physical mechanics your body prefers. When these simple exercises are practiced consistently day after day, your entire lower structure adapts. Sitting for long intervals feels less taxing on your lower back. Standing up from a seated position becomes a lighter, more predictable action. Walking across a slippery surface feels more secure, not because you forced your joints, but because you reminded them exactly how to distribute rotational forces smoothly. Joint flexibility is maintained not through sudden intensity, but through daily clarity and careful repetition. The true long-term benefit of this routine goes far beyond simple physical alignment. By establishing full structural flexibility within your hips, you protect your active balance, significantly lower your risk of falling, and firmly preserve your absolute ability to live independently on your own terms. These are not minor achievements. They are the essential elements that let you stay active in your own home, spend wonderful afternoons playing with your grandchildren out in your backyard, and drive your car to the local supermarket on weekends without a single ounce of anxiety or reliance on an unassisted walking cane. Aging does not mean giving up control over your physical freedom. It means choosing thoughtful practices that respect where your physical structure is today, while still encouraging your muscles to adapt and support you for years to come. Now, I would absolutely love to hear directly from you. Which specific part of hip stiffness or lower body discomfort affects your daily life the most right now? Is it general heaviness, deep joint tightness, or a constant feeling of fatigue when you try to change directions? Please leave a detailed comment below with your answer, and make sure to include your current age and which specific state in the U.S. you are watching our video from today. I read every single comment on our page to understand exactly what you need. If you enjoyed this presentation, please leave a comment with the number 1. If this session was not quite what you were looking for today, feel free to comment with the number 0 to let me know how I can design better content for you next time. Your direct feedback means the world to our team. Do not forget to like this video, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to our channel right now for more expert health tips made just for you. Thank you for watching. And here is to living a long, independent life on your own terms.